60. Visítanos en Electromuebles Hermanos Tavera y Tavera Home, la bonita de Verón, donde el verano se vive con ofertas, calidad y facilidades de pago. Llama ya o visítanos hoy mismo. Electromuebles Hermanos Tavera, tu hogar, tu estilo, tu verano.
Pero que estamos a rular y empezó el verano.
SPS. Farmacia SPS 24 horas, con un servicio de primera por verdaderos profesionales. Te asistirán médicos y farmacéuticos a tu servicio. Farmacia SPS 24 horas. Si no lo tenemos, te lo llevamos gratis a casa. Farmacia SPS 24 horas, al lado de la bomba Texaco, Villas Bávaro. También contamos con Caribe Express, Leisa y Casa de Cambio, donde lo encuentras todo.
Si quiere comer carne de la pura, si quiere comer mofongo de Doña Pura, vámonos a comer donde Doña Pura, vámonos a comer donde venden el tajo de verdad. Donde pura, donde pura, donde pura, me voy pa' donde pura. Dicen en Santiago y el Chivago entero, es que en Doña Pura el sazón es bueno, buenísimo. Donde pura. Y los liceitas vengan a comer esta carne frita. Anda pura, ¿a dónde pura? ¿A dónde pura? ¿A dónde pura? Me voy pa' dónde pura. ¿A dónde pura? ¿A dónde pura? ¿A dónde pura? Me voy pa' dónde pura.
Punta Canahits vive por ti. Si te quieres comunicar con nosotros, llama a nuestra emisora al 809-831-3333. 809-831-3333. 809-831-3333.
Every Friday at 7 p.m., Punta Cana Hits presents What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, the #1 English talk show in the area, with the best that the Dominican Republic and the rest of the world have to offer.
All right, welcome to What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, and I am excited to have another episode with you all this evening, and I have a very special guest. She is someone that I have known since 2016 when I first opened the school. She was the nanny of a student at the school, and then she ended up becoming one of my teachers. And she is somebody that I admire and I look at with great inspiration, because she always goes above and beyond and really and truly does more than I do, I personally think, because not only is she a teacher, she's a mother, and she's going to school to finish her degree at the same time. And that is not an easy task. So I want to welcome Andrea Reyes. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Miss Maggio.
Miss Maggio. Some things never change, right?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here because I think a lot of people need to know and understand. From my perspective, when I thought about you, I thought, gosh, this is a true Dominican success story, right?
Yes.
And maybe you don't see it that way yet because you're like, I have to achieve this. You're not at the end of your journey, and we're always bettering ourselves and moving ourselves along. But a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They're like, well, now I have a child. I can't do this. Or, things didn't work out right.
Yep.
Now I can't do this. Or, you know what? I'm okay with just working in the hotels, but I really want to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that drive come from?
Well, I always wanted to be successful since I was little. I remember people used to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always say, I want to be a teacher. So that was my first dream. And it was like, it's not been easy for me to get there, but I'm almost there. I started the university when I was like 18, right after I finished high school. But a lot of things happened because my dad passed away when I was 16. So after that, everything was on my mom. We were 3 kids. We were not 18 yet. So I finished the high school. Then I went to the university. I started, but it was being super hard for my mom, paid for that. So I started to work in a hotel here in Bávaro. So I was thinking to continue my career, but it was difficult for me. You know, working in a hotel is not easy. You have to be there like almost 24/7. So I stopped the university, unfortunately. And then by this time I got pregnant. I got pregnant when I was 24 with my daughter. And I think she was the reason why I went back to the university, because I want my daughter, when somebody asks her, what does your mom do for living? I want her to say, my mom is a teacher. No, my mom is a White House, or my mom works in a hotel. I want her to say that proudly, that her mom is a teacher. So yeah.
Well, you know, you skipped a few years in there, because it's not like you automatically, you know, you worked in the hotel. Yes. Yeah. You had to leave university. You went to work for necessity, which a lot of people do.
Summary.
Yes. A very fast summary.
Yeah.
But you went to work, and then you ended up getting a position which also helped you move your English forward.
Yes. Yep.
And then when we met, it was because of your English.
Yes. So let me tell you. First, I got a job in a hotel, and I was working in the entertainment team. And I didn't like it at all, because I'm this type of person. I don't like to show like a lot, like my body. I'm a little bit like shy. And for you to be able to work there, you have to be like, you don't have to be shy. You have to show up, you have to talk, you have to dance. And that wasn't me. So I'm not like that. I'm so quiet. And I just leave that job. And then like a year after, they offered me to work in a kids club in another hotel. So I started working there. And there I met a family with a little girl. She was 3 by that time. And they liked the way I was with the girl and everything. So they asked me to work for them. And they were offering me also to pay me more than I was like doing in the hotel. So I said yes. And I worked for them for like 2 years. I don't remember right now, because it was a long time ago. So I worked like for 2 years. And then after that, I met Christy, because her daughter was going to the school that she owns. So I remember she used to give me rice sometimes when I was going to San Pedro, because I'm from San Pedro.
Yeah.
I didn't say that in the beginning. So she used to give me rice and everything, and we talk, but I never imagined that I was gonna be like working with her right now. So after like a couple of months, that couple decided to move back to their original country, and they were like so afraid to leave me without a job. So in the beginning, they like tried to get me to the hotel where they used to work, but then they talked to Christy, and I started working with her as a teacher assistant. Yes. So after that, I worked with you since 2016, right?
2017.
17, yes. And then COVID started, and
we're missing a couple years there.
Oh, are we?
Yes. Because COVID didn't start till 2020.
Yes.
So we have 3 years in the middle there.
I do. Yeah.
So I want you to understand, though, like 3 years.
There's a lot.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking like, wow.
Yep.
I'm not that old, and I have done like a lot of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, is that I want to ask you, you know, you were with me for 3 years as a teacher assistant.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it too, and you were, Miss Nelsie was amazing.
Yes.
Who also was there. But I think that she really was also a great mentor to you.
Yes, the best. I love her.
Do you find that having already worked in education, you know, a lot of times we look at these university programs and everything's theory.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? What do you think is more valuable, the right practice or the theory?
The practice. 100%. I remember when I started working with you, I was really impressed because the things that you teach in the school, like I remember I used to work with little kids. They were like 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the year, these kids went to the other level, knowing all of the letters of the alphabet. And I was really impressed because, you know, here in this country is different. Kids don't know all of the letters of the alphabet or all of the numbers until they got to kindergarten or first grade sometimes. And that amazed me a lot. I was so impressed about it. And by this practice, that's when I like realized that I really wanted to be a teacher because I really wanted to be a change in everything. Like if I started working in a public school here, I want to make that change. Like kids are able to learn because I don't know why they doubt about kids' capacity, but they can learn since they are little. And this is something that we don't practice here in this country a lot. I don't know why. Some parents or some people are afraid like they're too little. They will not be able to know that. They will. Their brain is amazing. So the youngest they start learning things, the best they will become. So yeah, but practice, I think, is the best.
I have to agree. And I think that anything, especially, you know, a lot of times, and I don't know how your school does it, but, you know, they're probably, you know, here you are going through all of your classes and theory and everything. And there's probably maybe, 6 months, 6 weeks. I don't know. What do they do for in the United States, they call it student teaching.
Okay.
But what do you have to, like, at the end of your program, do you have to, like, go in the classroom and get actual hours and stuff like that?
I do.
Now, that's the interesting part because you're well above anybody that's probably even in that program.
Yeah.
You know, you supersede all of that. And, you know, obviously your hours are already in practice. So, but the thing is that is the interesting part. Do you feel that the program that you are in now, and I'm not saying this to critique it or anything, and maybe it is a great program. If you didn't have the knowledge that you have, do you feel that you would be prepared for the classroom?
Being honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think so. Just because, like I said to you, like the program here is too poor, unfortunately. There's some things that you don't learn at school and you should learn it there. Like just thinking about me when I used to go in a public school, and there is a lot of things that I know now because I just dig and investigate that they didn't teach me at school. And these are not like life things, but things like geography or things like that. I was so impressed when I realized that in a part of the country in this South America, I think, where Venezuela and like their seasons are different. Like when here is hot, they are cold. Like when here is, and I didn't know that. Like I don't remember they teach me that at school, and I think they didn't. Because this is something that I will remember because I was so impressed about that. Also,
you know, something too is that, like, because right now, my friend, a very good friend of mine, lives in Australia. So right now it's summer here, but it's winter there.
Yeah.
And
I think they're in Chile, and all of this.
Anything below the equator, it's the opposite season.
Yeah.
And their toilet bowl flushes the opposite direction too. So, like, when the water goes down in the toilet, I think it's clockwise here. I don't remember. It goes down counterclockwise in South America
In
and under the below the equator, anyways,
Yeah.
which I find interesting as well. You know, I think that there's a lot to say about general knowledge.
Mhm.
Like there are certain things that sure are important to know, right?
Yes.
And I think that's what basic school teaches us. But I think also, you know, now with the way the times are changing,
Mhm.
do you feel that the education program and university programs are also changing with the times?
I can say yes, because of thinking on when I was at school and what they're teaching me now that they are doing, things are different. Like they are adding good things in the curriculum now. I hope they practice, because there's nothing if they just put it there and nobody practice it. But yeah, I think it's changing a lot. And even the schools, like public schools now, they're better than as they were before. So yeah, it is.
So what is it exactly that they're changing? What do you feel are some of the things that are you feel will make a difference to these young people in Dominican schools?
Okay, so they are including a lot of things. One of them I just learned recently. Well, not recently, but this is something that they are adding to the rules of the school. I remember when I was in high school, if you got pregnant, you were not able to be in the school in the morning. Let's say we have like this morning shift and the afternoon shift. And there was a night shift for these little girls that got pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And now they changing that. So if you got pregnant, you're going to be able to finish the school year with your classmates without any problems. I think this is good in a way, but in another way, it's not that good, because by this time you were like feeling, oh, I don't want to get pregnant because I don't want to go in the during night to the school. I want to stay with my classmates. But it's good in a way because they get able to finish their high school without any problems. So thinking of something else that they are changing now is the inclusion in the schools. So before, if you have like these mental problems, you will not going to be able to be in the same classroom as your classmates. Something else that they add in is this mental, how do you call that, psychologist? I remember in my time, there used to be only one psychology for the school, and you were not even like going if you have any problems with them, because you were feel like, oh, he's going to be talking about my problems with anyone. But now this is serious. So I think there is like 5 or 4 psychologists per schools. And I think that's a good change.
That's great.
It is. It is great.
If they do their job.
That's another point.
And I think that's an important point.
It is.
Because I think in my perspective, in my feeling, there's a lot of appearance and making it look like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and a lot of these kids are not. And I think that we see that on a daily basis, and we're going to see it a lot in this coming school year, of kids that are just kind of brushed along, passed along.
Yeah.
Parents don't know what's going on, or they don't have time, or whatever it might be. And I think that is the sad case, because you have kids that are going into, let's say, 5th grade, 6th grade, and they can barely read. They don't know their basic math tables.
Yes.
And we watch it every day. Forget the English, let's put that aside. But other than that, it's just literally the basics that a lot of these kids don't have the foundation of, and they're just pushed along.
Yeah.
And I feel like something needs to change about that.
That's true. That is true. And not only with the kids. I know that there is a lot of things that the system here is not good and everything, but I have experienced all of these cases in the schools. I remember the psychology. They don't call it they call it orientadores.
Counselors.
Yes, like counselors. So I think it's not only the school part. I think the parents also.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of kids with these issues at school, like their family issues and everything. But when these people call the parents, the family, they never go, or they say, I'm busy right now, I'm working, do whatever you want with your kids. So that's another part that
absolutely 100%.
needs to be changed.
Because I think one of the things that you said before that made me think about it was that, like, when you realize that these 2 and 3 year olds that you had were like, oh, they're learning the alphabet, they already know the letters and the sounds,
they
and
knew how to
they're
write their name at the end of the year. Like, that was amazing for me. And I remember I told you, I was like, I'm so afraid of my daughter going to a public school now. I don't want her to go because I can see how, like, good is this. Like, all of the things that she's going to be able to do at the end of the school year that unfortunately, if she does it in the public school, she's not. So, yeah. That was my concern. Like, I was so worried about her.
And I failed you in that, but we'll work on that.
But she's there.
She is. Yeah. She is. But that's the thing. And I think that today parents wait or put it aside for the school will do it.
Yeah. Yep. This is a problem that we have here since the beginning.
It's a big problem because education starts at home.
Exactly.
And it takes nothing for you to have flashcards or numbers or things up by the mirror and what's that shape and what's that say, or, and to stimulate them at a young age. And I think that even with reading, I feel like not just here in this country, but I think all over, there is no longer a culture of reading at home. They don't read with their children anymore.
Nope.
And that to me it's like you can't sit there and read a passage with your child for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to help them. Like,
I don't know why. Like, there's not patience either from parents.
Well, because there's no discipline.
Yeah.
When there's discipline, then the kid's going to want to do it. But you have to create a love for it, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, you're going to get to hear a story tonight before you go to bed. If you don't do a good job, you're not going to hear that story tonight.
Yes.
It's a reward to hear a story. It's a reward to read a book as opposed to, a consequence, right? Like, and I feel that whole thing, and like you said, it is a complete package. The child, the parent, the school have to work together.
Yeah.
And when one of those breaks down, the whole ecosystem breaks down.
That's true.
So much longer do you have in studying at university before you get your official degree?
So I'm going to be done by half of next year.
The mid of next year?
Yeah.
What does that mean? The middle of next year, like June?
June.
So you'll be done in June of next year.
Yep.
That's very exciting.
It is.
Are you going to go to Disney World?
Probably.
When they win this, let me take that step back. In the United States, when they win the Super Bowl, they're like, "What are you going to do next?" I'm going to Disney World. Yeah. Diara would love that.
That's her dream.
But you will be prepared.
Yes.
You are prepared. And I will say you're prepared. You step up all the time and you do what's necessary to get the job done and to get the kids to learn.
Yeah.
I've watched you this past week with a girl that's been struggling tremendously.
Yes.
And I did not have to micromanage you 1 minute. And that to me is very important. Like, you know what they need and you know how to work, or that's not working. Let's see if something else will work.
Yep.
Right? Like, I mean, you got her to want to learn multiplication. She wanted to do like that to me is tremendous.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? What do you feel? Is it that you, because I have to set the precedent here. Even before, you would have 8 kids, 10 kids after school doing all different levels and readings and who's doing this math and who's doing that math. And you just balanced and managed that. How?
I think
And why can't everybody else do it?
I think it's because I like what I'm doing. Like, I like teaching. I like to see the faces on the kids when they learn something new. And I think this is what makes me like go for more. And I also look for the way when the kids, they don't get bored, like boring. This is boring. I'm always trying to do something, like making sure that they're learning, but they also having fun. And I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Because with that little girl that you were talking earlier, she gets boring for everything. She's just like, I'm so boring. I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. And then I go, well, if you finish this, then we're going to get to do this. And then that's where she get the
energy, the stimulation to want to.
So I think that's the thing.
And I think it's true. I think it's like, even for adults.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, but if you do this, then you're going to get to do that. And I mean, it's true. Like, we all need to be motivated in one way, shape, or form. In looking at that and your drive and your determination and your love for being a teacher, like, I always fought against it. I'm like, I'm not being a teacher. My mom's a teacher. My aunt's a teacher. My other aunt's a teacher. I'm not going to be a teacher. It's truly a gift because
it is.
You have to have something in you and an ability to.
And patience.
Patience for sure. Patience for sure. But also that, like you said, there is nothing better than watching somebody who's struggling.
Yes.
Go and be like, I help them.
Yep.
And I'm help them to not struggle in that area anymore. And like it's, I think we've talked about this before. Those kids that it comes easy to, sure, you can say that's great. You know, I did help them in their in that journey, but it's those that struggle. It's watching a kid going from not speaking any English to being fluent, and you're just like,
that's the best.
Yeah,
the best. So with that little girl, I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning, we have to make her do additions. And it was taking her 20 minutes, 23 minutes in the beginning, because she knew how to do it, but she was getting boring. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. And then I asked her, do you want to do multiplication? And she was like, yes, this is something I would like to do. And then I said to her, well, then you need to finish this addition in 5 minutes, or let's say 7 minutes, and you're going to be able to do the multiplication. We're going to work on that. So she did. I gave her the paper. She did it so fast. And then she went to the multiplication. But yeah, that's all motivation. You need to motivate them to.
Yes. And that's the thing. Everybody has a different motivation, right? Yes. What motivates you is not going to motivate me.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and what motivates another child isn't going to motivate somebody different. And that's the thing where when you look at governments or ministries of education or things like that, and they try and make everything standard and concrete across the board. And it's like, well, you know, every kid has to do this or every kid has to do that. It's like, you know what? How many kids do you know that are exactly the same, or how many adults do you know that are exactly the same? It's what works for some is not going to work for others.
Yes. And I have seen that with a little kid that we have there. He gets like stressful about doing his math, but there are some other things that he can do it like that. like easier.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, math is not his thing, but he can read faster. Or he can do something else. So yeah, we're not the same. We're all different.
And I think it's something too where you have to play on their strengths and then help develop their weaknesses. If you notice that even in school, even now, I mean, like, I have so many ideas, but we all are in the same class for the same period of time. And, if I excel in language, let's say, then I should probably spend less time in language. But if I'm bad in math, and spend more time in that subject area where you need the more help in, right? And I don't know where the cookie cutter idea of education really comes from. Well, I do know where it comes from. It comes from the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
However, if you were to create a school, what do you think is something that you would want to implement in that school?
Okay. So I was about to open like a nursery during COVID when I was back in San Pedro. And I'm sorry, but I was like thinking, I want to do the same thing as Christy. So, yeah, because there's not like many nurseries in San Pedro where they teach English to the kids. Like you just go there and leave your kids. They just play. They don't even study there. It's just to play and somebody be watching them the whole day. So I got this idea. I was like, well, if I put a nursery, it have to be different. So I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm going to have the kids to study and also speak to them in English. So at the end of the day, they will go home by knowing something new every single day. So yeah, like if I have to put a school, if I have to start this project, I will be copying you.
Good stuff. Hey, you know what? The best form of flattery is imitation.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, hey, you've got it. You got the curriculum. You have my 100% support. However, you cannot leave me yet.
Yes,
I will not allow that yet. But you know what? So what stopped you
from
doing it?
From doing it? I don't know. I was struggling a lot by getting a place because they don't have this many places, because I wanted something big where I can put all of these toys and this area, but all of they have there is like houses, like little houses.
Right.
And it was not right for me. So I was looking for the place and everything, and we were looking, searching and everywhere, but we didn't find. Then we decided to do something else. I decided to sell stuff. I think I told you that, and it was not successful. But, but yeah, that's what stopped me not finding the place.
So, this is the thing, and I'll share this story with you because a lot of times we have this image in our mind of what it should look like to start out with, like. But when I first started school, I was not planning on starting with just pre-K, kindergarten, first grade. And if you told me that I would be in that building where Emily was, I'd be like,
no,
no. But then you say, okay, this is what I have to work with. And then you strive towards more. You strive towards different. And I think that we have that idea of perfection in our mind, but sometimes that idea of perfection, we hold onto it because we're afraid of the success.
Yeah, that's another thing too. For me, I think that's one of my weakness. I want everything to be perfect in my way, but fast. Like if I need to, I don't know, put the furnitures in my house, I want everything to be by the time. I don't want like, oh, I'm going to start with just a bed and then I will buy in things little.
Yeah.
I have to work on that. I'm not like that.
I wasn't like that either. Trust me.
So I do have to work in that in my life.
Yeah. And I think once we realize that, because, I mean, everybody started small, you know?
Yes.
Amazon wasn't Amazon when they started, you know? I mean, it was Amazon, it was called Amazon,
yes,
but they started by selling books, and it started out of Jeff Bezos' house in the living room, and they boxed books and shipped them. And that's how it started. And then it started on the floor, and they're like, oh, well, it might be better if we had tables. And so they got tables to start it. Like, and so when we feel down on ourselves or think, oh, well, I can't do it because it's not where it should be. Nothing that is we look at today that we feel is successful or big or whatever started there. It had to start in that very small place. So, but they started, and because they started, then they got to there.
That's
so what's your favorite grade level to teach?
My favorite grade level is kindergarten, like little kids.
Little kids.
These are my favorites.
I think it's because you mold them.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, it's easier with them. Even though people think it's not. Like, no, these are little kids. They will kick you. They will pee everywhere. Like, no. Like, this little kid's mind is fresh. So you can teach them whatever you want, and you can mold them, as you say, however you want. So, yeah, these are my favorites.
Yes, because they're curious and they're creative.
Yes.
And you know what? They're only going to kick you if you allow them to do that, right? Now, let's tell them the story about Ava. You want to tell them the story about?
Yes, I do have a video of her doing her rabietas all the time.
So she is a wonderful student now.
She is.
Amazing. But when she was in pre-K, when she was 4 years old, she was just unruly. She just would not.
And she said, I will never speak English. You will never make me speak English. Never.
Now, mind you, the little girl's 10 now, and she speaks great English.
She does.
But she was so bad that I made her clean the bathroom. I did. And she, after that day, very few times did she get in trouble because she had to clean the bathroom. Now, when I say clean the bathroom, she had to go in there with a mop. It's not like she was on her hands and knees, it's not. But when she had to do this, she was like, and I've done that a few times because they need to learn. You need to set the boundaries. And I think today a lot of parents don't set those boundaries. So coming from a parenting perspective, let's talk parenting.
Yeah.
Because your daughter is very well behaved. And you look at her and she's like, like she knows when she's going beyond where she needs to go. How do you do that?
Well, even before I was a mom, I always said that. Like I said, the way I'm going to raise my kid is like giving her love, but also putting her boundaries. Like, I love you with all of my heart, but you are not able to do this. I love you with all of my heart, but you're not able to hit people or to make this, when they go to the supermarket and they ask for something, you said no, and then they go to the floor and no. I never allowed that with her. And I don't even have to hit her like most parents. Like just by looking at her, she knows that she's not doing something that is good and she will stop. So that's the thing. Since before, even when I got pregnant, I say, I'm going to raise my kid. She knows that I love her, but she's not able to behave the way, like whatever she wants, or she's not able to do whatever she wants. She needs to know that there is boundaries, that in the whole world, there's going to be rules, and they start at home. So, yeah.
And I think that's what you just said there is very key. They start at home.
Yeah.
What they start with at home is what they carry over to the school. And so
there have to be a balance between love and discipline.
Absolutely.
And this is what it's not like. There's the thing that is like we're failing as the parents, because a lot of parents love their child too much that they're afraid. Like if I say that to my child, maybe he will not love me. Or I don't know, but that's not going to happen.
And that's true. And that's very true, because a lot of parents like, oh, well, right now they have this whole thing, the whole movement of gentle parenting. Tell me about that, Miss Andy. Tell me about gentle parenting and your thoughts on it.
I respect that if the parents can do it, but I don't do it. Like, no.
I think you do it, but
not that.
in the sense of like, you don't yell, you don't hit. That's gentle parenting. But there's that boundary.
Yes.
But like, it's kind of like, well, how do you feel?
And they're not able to say no to their kids. Like, no is that
Is
word.
that part of gentle parenting?
Yeah. I remember once, I don't know if you remember about that, but we have few parents in school that I remember their kids were naughty. Like, they were running and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said to me, oh, we're not allowed to say the word no at home. Like, this is something that we don't. And I was like, okay, I respect that. But then I was thinking, but what about when they grow up and they ask for something and a different person say no to them? How they're going to react if they have never heard that word in their life? So for me, that was not right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no is a word that you're going to hear everywhere.
Right. Everywhere. And so it's preparing them for reality.
Yes.
And I think too, like, I've come to the realization, and you know me, I when I yell.
Yeah.
And
I know.
And that happens from time to time. Am I okay with it? No. But at the same time, sometimes you need to raise the voice. But most of the time, I think that, like you said, just by looking at them, just by the eye, just by the, why are you doing that? You know, and I do believe in explaining the why.
Exactly. Yes. That's another point. Not only say no to the kids, say why not? Why you cannot do that? I watched a video the other day on TikTok, and there was the little kid in the car, and the mom was asking her to put the the seat belt on, and she was like, the kids were like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put it on. It's uncomfortable. And the mom was like, well, you have to. And then the kid asked her why I have to do that. And she was like, because we have to go. And I was like, but that is not the right answer for that. Why? You should say, because it's dangerous. If something happened, that will protect you for getting injury or something like that. But she just said, because we have to go. That's not enough reason for a little kid to.
Of course not. I mean, I remember in the old school, I remember sending a video because I was tired of seeing parents
I remember that.
driving away with their kids standing up in the back seat. And you remember I sent the video out to all the parents about, even if you're only going 10 kilometers an hour, the impact of that brake and your child hitting the dashboard or the windshield, it's not going to kill them, but they're going to be seriously injured, even at 10 kilometers an hour. And I still see it to this day, these kids standing up on the highway. They'll be dead. And so my question is, like, here you are sheltering them, giving them everything you want because you supposedly love them, yet you don't make them sit in a seatbelt. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's huge. Like, the way, like, showing them that you love them is by protecting them.
Of course.
So if you don't protect them, you can say with words, I love you so much, you're my everything. But you also need to know that they're kids and they don't know, sometimes they don't know about danger.
Of course not.
You have to explain them the reason why they need to put their seatbelt or to keep in their seats when you are going out. No, it doesn't matter how far or how close you go. They need to put that on because that's protection.
And that's a good segue into, like, they don't know. Because I think that a lot of times when parents say, well, my child wants to do this or my child wants to do that, and they let them do it. And you look and you say, but you're the adult.
Exactly.
Yes. You know the consequences in the end, whether it's the school you choose, whether it's reading. They don't want to read. Well, guess what? They're going to continue struggling if you don't do that. But they just don't want to. Well, You're the adult.
Yes.
You know what the consequence is. They don't understand what the consequence is.
Exactly.
And therefore, you need to make that choice for them and help them understand, again, coming back to the why.
Yes.
Why they have to do that. You know, and I think that even in the school, with you, with me, we don't let those things go.
Yes.
And they'll get angry with us.
Of course.
They will hate us.
Of course.
But in the end, they will love us.
Of course.
Because we knew what they needed. And when they realized that what we did, they needed, that's when they say thank you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
And it happens to me a lot there in the school, for example. So when I'm trying to, during the Spanish class, trying to teach them things, and they're like, that's too boring, Miss Sandy, I don't want to do that. And then they come another day saying like, oh, Miss Sandy, you know, we were talking about the things that you were teaching us the other day. And they didn't say thank you to me, but I'm pretty sure they were feeling like grateful because we talk about it, and they were able to know once they were talking to somebody else. So yes.
Yeah. You know, and it's not always a thank you. It's seeing that joy that, oh, I was able to use something that you you showed me or you taught me in class, or, you know what, I knew how to do that, and they were surprised, or they go home and show their parents how to use Canva, or, you know, make a video or whatever. And they're like, I can do this, you know? And I think that is important. I think that what we need to remember as parents is that they don't know what's good for them. So while you're trying to make them happy, sometimes they need to be unhappy in order to make sure that they are happy in the future and when it matters.
Yes. This is almost the same of when you are a parent, but you are not present with your kids, but you're giving them everything. I know a story about a little girl. She used to go to school with me, and her mom was not in the country. Her mom was living in Europe, and she gets whatever she wants, like everything, the last cell phone, the last watch, everything. But at the end, she was not happy.
Of course.
And I remember we were having this conversation, and she said, well, I have my auntie living with me, and I feel like I love her more than my mom. And I was like, really? But that's your mom. And she was like, no, it's because, you know, you love somebody more when you get to see them every day. And I was like, that was so deep for me. I was like, you know, the mom is maybe there thinking that she's doing the best. Like, I'm sending her whatever she needs. But she needed her mom more than the things she was sending
Of course.
Her. And yeah.
I guarantee you that most kids would, especially in that type of a scenario. Now, when your parents are present and they're involved in your life, maybe not so much, but most kids would forgo the phone for 30 minutes of their parents' attention.
Yes.
Especially in a situation like that.
Yes.
And I think that is one of the key things. Kids don't want things as much as they want to spend time with their parents.
Yes, for sure. 100%.
In a positive, good way. You know, not oh, well, we are sitting here watching Netflix together. No, that's not spending time. It's like playing a board game, drawing, coloring, doing something, taking a walk. How was your day? All of those things. And I think there's so much, so many things. And again, let's talk about social media quick, because we're almost at the end of the show.
Okay.
And do you let your daughter watch TikTok?
No. She's not allowed to watch TikToks. It's just because of all of the things that appears on TikTok. But she watched YouTube 1 hour a day. And the things that you can see in YouTube are like worst.
Same as TikTok, because the YouTube shorts are the same as the TikTok.
Exactly. So I was like, well, you're not able to watch YouTube anymore, because the other day we were watching, or she was watching something, and I heard they were saying a lot of bad words. And I was like, what are you watching? It was like, oh, it's My Little Pony. And I was like, that's not My Little Pony. And it was like the characters, but with different voices. They were saying a lot of horrible things. Like, if you're a parent, you're just, oh, they're watching My Little Pony, and you will go.
Right.
But if you're listening to what they're saying, like, it's horrible. So I said to her, you're not able, you want to watch Netflix, something on Netflix for the hour that you have, like, screen time. And then she was like, no, I want to YouTube. Of course, because you want to be like the other kids.
Right.
I'm going to be able, like, I want to be able to know Ballerina Cappuccino, for example. Do you know that?
Yeah, brain rot.
So I know she wanted to do, but it's not the best for her.
No,
So
I don't think it's. See, that's my dilemma with tech, social media. I know the positive and the good that it does for these kids, like in increasing their brain, and they need it for the future. But then there's the garbage side of it. And then you watch the parents that are watching the garbage, that are letting the kids watch the garbage with them. And then you're just kind of like, well, you want them to not watch the garbage, but you're watching the garbage too.
Yes.
You know, right? So anyways, on that note, tell me, what is your goal? What do you want to see for yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, in the next 5 years, first of all, I want to see my daughter growing up healthy. That's the first thing I want. And I also want, after I become a teacher, I just want to make a change. I don't want to be like all of the other teachers, just teaching because of the money. I want to teach because I want to see the change on the kids' future. I want to see them learning something different, as not just math or language arts or things like that. I want them to learn about life also. So yeah, that's when I see myself. I watch myself being a great teacher and also a great mom.
And having your own school.
Yes, probably.
Very good. All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio. Thank you, Andrea, for being here with us. And until next time, bye-bye.
Every Friday at 7 p.m., Punta Cana Hits presents What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, the #1 English talk show in the area, with the best that the Dominican Republic and the rest of the world have to offer.